So what is today's episode about, folks? They talked about Jesus. Jesus had Judas. So of course they're going to talk about you. No matter if you're doing well, no matter if you're doing bad. So who the hell cares? Let's keep moving forward. It is Patrick Tycoon Jones. We're back with another episode. Folks, I'm so happy to be here. There's so much that has gone on, but I will tell you today is going to be cloth talk again. Now, folks, whenever I say cloth talk, you already know what that means. That means I'm going to be in my bag and we are about to get deep. So what is today's episode about, folks? They talked about Jesus. Jesus had Judas. So of course they're going to talk about you. No matter if you're doing well, no matter if you're doing bad. So who the hell cares? Let's keep moving forward. Really quick, www.patricktycoonjones.com is up and running. It's full effect. Folks, you see the gear, right? You see the hat, Patrick Tycoon Jones. You see the polo. So folks, when you're out, you're golfing, you just want to go out with the lady, fellas, and you want to rock the lock-in because you already know the state of mind means that you're locked in. Go ahead and pick it up on the patricktycoonjones.com website. And you already know the Instagram. It is Patrick Tycoon Jones. So folks, this is what I want you to do. Grab your pens, your pads, whatever it is that you need to take notes on. If you have a voice recorder, go ahead and hit play on that because today is going to be nothing but cloth talk. We are getting deep. So, number one, folks, number one, tell your big dreams to a small mind. Now, just think about that, right? So you hear that all the time. A lot of folks talk about tell your big dream to someone with a small mind who doesn't have your vision. Number one, you have to identify who you're telling your dreams to. Because a real person, someone who wants to see you do well, when you tell them what your dream is, when you tell them what your next level is, the elevation of where it is that you're trying to go, guess what they're going to do? They're going to really speak life into your idea. They're going to come with ideas like, oh, you want to do this? Well, hey, you should think about this, and this, right? They're not going to detract you from moving forward and growing and becoming the best that you can be. In fact, they're going to cheer you on and assist where they can, right? We know that not everyone can assist you. We know that some people that you tell your dreams to, the only thing that they can really add to it is, hey, you can do it, right? But there's others that can actually add, that know they have the ability to add, but because their limitations in their head, they're not going to try to help you out. And that's a problem. That's not only a problem with them as an individual, but that's a problem with you being able to identify who you should have in your circle, okay, and who you should eliminate from your circle. To me, it is extremely straightforward. Right? And the reason why it's extremely straightforward is because I've had individuals in my circle that should have never been in my circle, especially when I'm telling them my dreams and what it is I'm trying to do, right? In the back of their head, they're like, there's no way this guy can do it. But guess what? You see the locked in gear. You see the Patrick Tycoon Jones. You see the locked in hat, right? This was nothing but an idea that now we took from the metaphysical plane, right, to the physical plane. So it's here, right? So there's nothing that you can't do, but what you can do is you can tell your big dreams to someone with a small mind, and then a year later, guess what? You still haven't acted on your dream. Because what they have done is they have came in and corrupted that seed that you need in order to grow and blossom. And there's no corruption, folks. We can't have that. All we can have as members of the Tycoon Nation is we can only have prosperity. That's it. So again, tell your what? Tell your big dream to a small mind and watch it come crashing down, okay? Next, number 2, love can turn into hate quickly. A person will say that they love you. It can be significant other, it can be family, it can be a friend, okay? And they'll sit down next to you and they'll say, I love you, right? And then the moment that things don't go their way, the moment that times get difficult, then guess what ends up happening? They get into their batch of friends, or they may be talking with their family, and next thing you know, they start gossiping about you. Oh yeah, the person that says they love you. They start talking about you, and then they start let their friends and or family talk shit about you. And then guess what happens? Then instead of protecting you, because that's what love would do, now they're pitching in on the gossiping party or the talking shit party about you, right? So how can someone that says that they love you allow someone else that knows nothing about your relationship change the perception that they have of you? How does that happen, folks? If they really love you. So one thing that I have to call out is, and I want you guys to write this down, what does love actually mean to you? Is it really strong? Or is it until you can find something better that you feel as though is better? Because one thing that I've learned, no matter how you look at it, folks, is the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is always going to be greener within the grass that you're watering, no matter how you look at it. So if that kind of went over your head, the point is, the batch of grass that you're in, as long as you're maintaining it, manicuring it, watering it, doing what it takes to maintain the relationship, then guess what? It's always going to be greener right where you're at. So really, it's about you. Really, it's about that person that's now in that rocky relationship, whether it's business or personal. Because you know, folks, lock in doesn't just mean business. Lock in also means personal life as well. So it's about that person and their perception of what love is and their perception of what you mean to them. And folks, go through some tough times and see what you really mean to that individual. Because that will show it, right? You got exhibit A and you got exhibit B. Exhibit A may go out, wild out, and flaunt it in front of you. Exhibit B then puts boundaries and then doesn't wild out at all, goes to God, right? Goes to close family, remains still, and then becomes the victor, right? Not wilding out, acting out, putting it all on social media, right? Making yourself look stupid. No, that's not what we do. Okay, folks? And the reason why I brought up that whole social media thing is because social media can be the detriment of you guys sometimes. Social media, you think that it's doing something for you, but it can be the demise of you, and you just don't realize it. A lot of people don't realize it. What they show on there, the pictures that they choose to post, the company that they choose to keep, the things that they choose to engage in, right? Someone that's talking this cloth talk may see that and be like, oh no way. That's not going down, right? So one thing that my dad would always say is if you give them an inch and then they go a mile, folks, give the people an inch and let's see how far they take it. And then that will show you what you mean to the other person. No matter what they say, it's about the actions, okay? So just keep that in mind. Again, love can turn into hate quickly. And folks, that it can. Number 3, and I love number 3, folks, lies on the lips of loyalty. You know, Jay-Z said, lies on the lips of a priest. I'm saying lies on the lips of loyalty. You know, have you ever been around that individual that says, I'm so loyal, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, I'm loyal, until it's time to be loyal, right? This kind of coincides with what I had talked about earlier. What happens when it's time to be loyal? What happens when it's time to be down? What are you doing? What's your character like, right? What are you showing the other person that you are apparently loyal to? What are you? Right? Because this is now showing the content of your character. What's your character saying? Right? Are you now going out and seeking attention elsewhere? Are you now going out and acting outside of what you say your character is? No. What you're now doing is you were acting in a disguise before, and now when something has happened to you that you don't like, your true character is coming out. And you better make sure it's your character that you like. Because let me tell you, a smart person will be able to see through that fake stuff. And one thing that we do know is if you put a person through enough tests, and everyone hates tests. No one likes to be tested. Hell, no one even likes to go to school when they have a test, right? But if you put that person through enough tests, you're going to see what their true character is. Now, if you see what their character is, and it doesn't align with who you are, but you still continue to choose, then guess what? Expect what you're going to get, because you'll already have that gut feeling. You'll already know what you're going to get. You already see it. You just choose to ignore it. So don't blame them when they do exactly what you knew that they were going to do, and they end up being exactly the person that you knew they are, because you were thinking that you could potentially change the person. Change doesn't happen until that person wants to change. Not because you want them to, it's because they want to. Or they see enough value in you or the situation that they're like, I'm not going to allow the old version of who I am ruin what I've been working for today. And I've seen a lot of people and a lot of companies, I've seen them lose the bag because they think that they can go get a bigger bag. Or I've seen them fumble because they think that they're the energy source of the prosperity. Okay, well, roll your dice, play those cards. Roll your dice and play those cards. But at the end of the day, you know what's what. We all know what's what, right? And the engaging parties also know what the deal is. So you can try to lie to yourself and others, but it all comes out. It all comes out, okay? So lies on the lips of loyalty is a funny thing because it only takes time and a couple of tests to identify what's loyal and what's not. That's it. That's it, folks. And if you're like me, I'm going to tell you. Once I really identify disloyalty, once I really identify that, you'll never, ever, and I mean this to the bottom of my heart, have the luxury of being in my presence again. And being in my presence is a gift. Now, you can say that sounds narcissistic, but I know my value, and I know what I bring to the table, and I know I'm a positive light and energy source to this world, and I know I'm changing people's lives. But when I realize that your true nature is serpent-like, you got to go. You'll never talk to me again. And I mean that. In Tycoons, that's how you need to operate as well. When you draw the line, that line is there, and it's there forever. And the reason behind that is because you give a person, or you give, the business enough chances, in your partner, right, in business, enough chances and opportunities to be able to prove themselves But when time and time and time and time again, when you give your partner, or in your relationship, when I say partner, I'm referring to business partner, business, enough opportunities to prove itself, and time again, they end up proving you right by proving the scenario wrong, then guess what you have to do, folks? You have to cut the cord. No matter how much it hurts, you got to cut the cord. You have to. And if you don't cut the cord, then you're being the fool. So cut the cord, folks. Trust me on that one. Next, take nothing from nobody. Now, of course, there's a little bit of cliche in that, but I mean that. Take nothing from nobody. Okay? Because one thing that happens is you take someone that's never lived a life of the top 1%. I'm just going to paint a Picasso picture right now. You take somebody or something that's never lived a lavish, posh life. You put them in a position to where now they're living a lavish, posh life. It only is going to take that person a couple of months, maybe even a year, to grow accustomed to that. And then now that's the new normal. And then now they're taking it for granted. That's real. And just think about that. You go from nothing, living the lavish, posh, top 1% lifestyle, and then in a couple of months, a year, it's now the new norm. And so if it's the new norm now, you're taking it for granted, and then you're forgetting about how you ended up getting there, and then you fumble. You fumble, turnover, and there's no recovery. So what I mean by that is take nothing from nobody. I mean, take nothing. If someone's giving you no effort, in this, you could be a manager right now, right? A director, a VP, a sales division. And in that sales division, you have someone who was a high performer a year ago. This year, they're lackluster. They're not even a C player. Well, how long is it going to take you to identify the shortcomings and either fix it, talk to them to fix it, or get them out of there and get someone else new, right? So you got to think about that. And when you consistently accept a pile of crap and you're eating that, figuratively speaking, folks, not literally, figuratively, that's what people will continue to give you. Because what you do every day is you show an individual how you want to be treated. So if you're willing to accept shit, they're going to continue to give it. Why would they do anything different? Because you're willing to eat that, right? Again, figuratively. Why would they do anything different? They're not going to. If you allow someone to give you minimum effort or be lackluster or add zero value, then you got played. Simple as that. So again, folks, take nothing from nobody. Next, number 5, fake people will reveal themselves. Now, that is a fact. And the beautiful thing about it, folks, a lot of people try to rush everything. They try to rush success. They try to rush money. They try to rush everything. Relationships, everything. But if you want to be able to identify who is fake in your circle, all you need is time. Time, open space, and opportunity. Because the open space and opportunity will show itself. For example, gentlemen, if you're in a relationship with a lady, you go through time, and let's just say they use social media as a dating platform. Okay, give them time. The moment that it appears as though, fellas, that there's someone out there that's doing better than you, or not even doing better than you, just doing some things that you're not doing, and he is in her DMs and she responds to him, then you already know what the deal is, folks. Now, it's going to be difficult. You'll never know that, but with time, you'll understand if she moves differently, what's going on. And guess what? Over time, no matter what, especially if you stay prayed up, and this goes for you too, ladies. If you stay prayed up and you ask God to remove the negative from your life and keep the positive from your life, or if you ask God moreover, a bit more specifically, please give me a sign if this person is for me or if this person isn't for me. Folks, let me tell you, I prayed a similar prayer at night, going to bed. The very next day, folks, I got the sign. The very next day. That's how quick God works. But you got to ask. You know what they say. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. But guess what? If you don't go knocking, the door will never open. If you don't ask, you'll never receive. So I'm going to ask. You should too. And that's a fact. Okay? So it only takes time for fake people to reveal themselves. Just know that. And patience, folks. Patience. I had a conversation today about a predator. And it was so funny. Because what she said to me was so true. A predator is so patient. It's the most patient thing on earth. Why? Because a predator has to wait for its next meal. And its next meal will do what? It'll just be moseying about, not realizing that a predator is lurking. And that predator could be lurking for weeks, have not eaten at all. And then next thing you know, here it comes, right into the mouth, literally, of the predator. And then the predator has to do what? Exert minimum effort. Minimum effort. And now he has his meal. He or she has his meal. So folks, it's always time, patience. Patience is a real virtue. And I'm going to tell you just a little story about me when it comes to patience. Prior to my Achilles tear and going through surgery, I had zero patience. I had patience with nothing. Nothing. I wanted what I wanted right now. There was no second guessing it. There was no arguing. There was no excuses. What I want is what I got, and that's how the game goes. Right? It used to be. But then what I learned about patience and how it's truly a virtue is if you lay and you focus, and now I'm going to talk about building the house, right? If you focus on every brick and you're putting the mortar on each side and it's even, the density is just perfect on each side, and you put enough focus on laying one brick by brick by brick by brick, at the end of the day, there's going to be nothing but perfection. And that has to do with patience, right? Not rushing it. Because if you're currently laying one brick, but you're already focused on brick 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but you're on brick 1 right now, guess what you're going to do? You're going to mess up. You're going to have to redo things. And it's no different in life. It is literally no different in life. So focus on one step at a time, laying one brick at a time, period. Next, when you're chosen, you will be tested. I cannot beat this drum enough. Mike Tyson actually said it best. Mike Tyson was sitting down, he was talking to a UFC guy. And the UFC athlete was sitting down, he was talking to him, and he had a whole bunch of success and hadn't lost at that time. And Mike Tyson said something that was extremely profound. He said, when you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil, just as much. So if God was the individual that got you to the place of success, and he got you, Mike Tyson said, there to the dance, you make sure that you leave with the person that got you to the dance. So when you're chosen, folks, man, there's going to be so many tests. There's going to be so many tests. Let me tell you a quick story. I was in a position where I'm in a relationship, right, at this point in time. And I was on my Tycoon Jones stuff, all right? I'm out. That means I'm business, suited and booted. And there was an individual that said to me, two actually, individuals that said to me, you smell like sex. I'm single, and if you are single, I would love to have sex with you. Just like that. Didn't know me from Adam. Literally. So guess what? I knew it was a test. And actions are key. Integrity is key. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't say anything. I was in Tycoon Jones mode. I smiled, didn't even acknowledge the comment, and kept it moving and kept it business. And guess what? I earned so much respect from others around me, because you don't understand how many people that, if they were in my position at that point in time, they would have jumped on that. Not me. For what? Why? Integrity to me is more important, right? Trust to me is more important. I prayed for the position that I'm in. Why am I going to now do something that's completely against what I stand for? I'm not. It's just not going to happen. So every level, there's going to be a new devil. And the devil's job is to come at you. His job is to come at you any way he knows how. If he can come at you through finances, he will. If he can come at you through your vices, he will. If he can come at you through the opposite sex, he will. If he can come at you with negativity that'll bring you down, he will. That's his job. But you're chosen. And it's your job to stay the course and stay strong and stay steadfast. Don't pray for something, get it, and then lose it. Over what? A stupid temptation? That was truly a test anyway? Dumb folks. Or an argument, you're trying to prove a point, and you end up doing something stupid that you can't come back from? Now you have legal troubles? For what? Stupid. And then that now goes right into the last piece. Your character is revealed by your response. Folks, I cannot stress this enough. You may be put in a jacked up situation. You may be struggling right now with your finances. You may be struggling with your relationship. You may be struggling with fake love around you, deceit, disloyalty. And how you choose to respond to that, folks, it tells the story of who you are inside. You can't run from how you choose to respond to adversity. You can't run from how you choose to respond to negativity. You can't run from how you choose to respond in the heat of the battle. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be on you. It's a decision, it's a choice. And it's your choice, it's your decision how you choose to respond. And not enough people understand that. They always blame someone else. Heck, I was just in a situation where I was talking to someone and they made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And once I called that out, it was everyone else's fault. Well, she made me do this because she did this, and, I did this because I couldn't do this, and wait, what? Since when is it that you're a tycoon, right? And you're part of the Tycoon Nation, and you're blaming everyone else for your problems? At what point in time are you And I'm talking to you, yes. You see me looking into the camera. What point in time are you going to take accountability for you? Stop being the victim, and can we please for once be the damn victor? For once. See how that feels. See how that feels when you take responsibility and ownership of your actions. See how that feels. It's going to feel great. So just keep in mind, again, I can't stress this enough, and this is so important, folks. Your character is always revealed by how you respond, okay? So that's it for today, folks. You already know, like the hat and the polo says, lock in with me because you know I am locked in with you. And please like, subscribe, and share this knowledge with someone else who deserves the Tycoon knowledge. Until we meet again, folks, take care.